Watch my homies, DJ80 here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of some KORG headphones. So the story is I had these Numark carbon headphones, and as so often happens, the cable just started to become a little bit dicky. So unless you held it in position, you could only hear music through one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a spare cable for these and just keep them as backup. And yesterday I bought this, the KORG NC Q1 noise cancelling headphones, and they come in black or white, and I've opted for white for a bit of a change. Thought they might look quite nice with all my black uniform and stuff. And so yeah, let's check them out. So inside the box you get a soft case for them, you get a thick old instruction manual, you get I've got a white cable here, I suspect because I've picked the white headphones. The cable itself is really quite thin. It's the sort of cable that you'd have for home headphones. I wouldn't say that it's going to be one that's good for professional use, so I might have to look at getting another one, but we'll see how it fares. And you get a charger, a little USB charger to charge the battery, because they have a battery, and you get 3.5mm to 1/4" jack adapter as well. And of course you get the headphones. I've got to say, on first look, these are absolutely gorgeous. Try and get them out and just have a look at that. They're really nice. And that ear padding there is so soft. It's soft and squidgy. Yeah, first impression, I'm quite impressed. So now I've got to work out how to use them, because they've got quite a lot of functions. And yeah, I think I'll set them up with my Denon and see how we get on with that. So the first thing you have to do is charge them up. So you get the cable with it, or I had one anyway, and that light is on when it's charging, and it says it could be 3.5 to 6 hours to charge. And yeah, so I've stuck them on. If I'm going to use them, we'll get that right up to power, and when that light goes out, that's when they're charged. So they're all plugged into my Prime 4. It's time to do a little mix. Let's see what they're like. So I managed to have a little practice mix with these. Wasn't too bad, but the real proof of the pudding was when I did a gig this weekend, just a couple of days ago. It was a triple birthday, 16th, 18th and 50th, all rolled into one. And I took these out and I used them. And here's my thoughts. All right, so these headphones, I think, are going to be my own little test from God, because I'm kind of torn over them. So first things first, they're comfortable and the noise cancelling works really, really well. The cable isn't up to much, although it did do the job. There wasn't any problems, but I think I'm going to end up having to buy a thicker one than that. I just can't see that lasting a while, although it does look nice. So one of the big selling points about these for me was the ability to tap the side and change from hearing music from the headphones, or hearing music from one headphone and the ambient sound from outside, or tapping it again and hearing all the music from the outside, as well as the low volume music from the inside. So that's a really good idea, but in practice it's incredibly difficult. So as a DJ, I am constantly maybe moving my headphones, taking them off, moving from one ear to the other. And what you end up doing is tapping it by accident. And when loud music is playing in the background, when you're fully going, it's really hard to get it back to normal. And I struggled with it. But that wasn't my biggest problem that I had with these. I did read the instructions before using them, but the biggest problem I had is with this little switch here, which is a volume switch for the headphones. So I had these plugged in, and because there was a lot of kids at my event, I come off the stage and I go down, I dance with them, I do limbo with them and all sorts. So the headphones are always on and off. And what I found was, when I took them off, when I came back and put them on, the volume was really low. Now, right at the beginning, and when I was playing background music, the volume was really low, and I turned the volume up on my mixer right up, and it still wasn't very loud. And it really bugged me, and I thought, I was checking the cables, and I looked in my bag for a spare cable, and I was wiggling this around in the socket, and I was like, what's going on? Why aren't they working? Because it was the proper first gig with, you know, loud music in the background. And eventually, after pressing lots of buttons and trying lots of different stuff, I found out it was this, and this raises the volume up and down. And for some reason, when I was taking these off, they would go back to being a low volume. Now, I'm not sure if that's just where, by chance, where I was picking them up, taking off my head, I was maybe moving that and reducing the volume, but it happened just about every time I took them off. And so obviously I didn't have time, you know, I was performing, I didn't have time to sort of really investigate it. But it's a real big bugbear. Now, I can understand why they've got a volume switch on there, because if you just use them on their own, battery powered for Bluetooth, you know, if you want to use them for going jogging or going to the gym, something like that, or, you know, a train journey, then it's handy to have that little volume switch rather than going into the device that you're listening to music on. But I would have thought that once you have that set at a volume that you like, especially if you're using it wired, that it would just stay at that volume. Or even better, its default position is a loud volume, and you can just turn it down. That would be a better idea. But I did have a bit of a panic on at my gig, because I just, you know, once the music was up, I just couldn't cue music in these headphones. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to have to mix it live and hope it doesn't crash. And I don't use the sync button, so I'm you know, I use the pads to beat match. So it really was a case of, you know, beat matching some tracks and then slowly crossfading it over and just checking to see if it was in time until I sussed out that volume switch. Also, these have this little button here, which is called an attenuator. So if you've got loud music playing in the background, you switch your attenuator on, and it doesn't damage the mics that are in here. Remember, this has mics on the outside and the inside, and so that enables it to pick up the outside sounds. But this default position for the attenuator is off. So when you switch these off, when you switch them on again, the attenuator is off. So if you are playing loud music, or, you know, playing a live event, the very first thing you need to do is switch that on, because you don't want to damage the microphones in it. So I'm sure that there's probably a way they can just do it so it works without you having to do the switch. And talking of switches, I think this would be better with a switch on it for that function where you can hear outside and you can hear what's in the headphones simultaneously. So yeah, apart from those small issues, I think they're a great concept. They are a really good idea, and the noise cancelling works really well. But I just don't think it's executed very well. So I don't think how they've done it, they could have done it better. So as I say, you know, it needs more switches. This is a nice idea, but I was forever playing with these, and when I banged them by accident, just sort of moving them on my ear, I was wasting time trying to bring them back so I could just hear the cue music that I was lining up, and it is a bit of a faff. And I think, you know, if they just had a little switch at the side here, maybe one on each side. So, you know, if you do want to hear the music on the inside on this one, but you want to hear the music from the outside on this one, you just switch it. It's nice, it's easy, you know, a proper physical switch rather than this tap thing, which is a bit hit and miss. You know, I spent, it's only seconds, but it took me a while, and I was holding it and I was like, can I hear outside? No. And then it would switch to one, and then I'll be like that again. And when you're trying to read a crowd and you're trying to line up music and you've got people coming up to you and stuff. This is all a faff that you can really do without. So what I'd like to see them do is keep the idea and all the functions of these headphones, but just make them a bit more practical. Let's have a switch this side, maybe like a push button there. Push button's good, so you can hear what's going on the outside. Let's just scrap that attenuator button. Let's just make it automatic so it works straight away, and it will respond to the sound of the music that's on the outside. This sound enhancing button, I didn't use it, certainly not on purpose. I may have pressed it a couple of times when I was trying to raise the volume. So I have no idea what sound enhancement setting it's on at the moment. And I have linked it up to my phone. It does work quite well with my phone, which I had as a backup just in case, you know, my decks failed and I had to use my phone. But they're a lot of money. And now I'm in that position where I have to think about, should I send them back? I mean, I have used them, to be fair, but should I send them back and get just a normal set of corded headphones, or do I persevere with them and force myself to learn to live with them and get the most out of them? So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet, but they are a lot of money. There are cheaper headphones out there. I like the premise of this, but KORG, if you are watching this review, just make them a bit more practical, and yeah, let's just not faff about with this volume up, volume down switch, please. Let's have them at a set volume, and yeah, let's get rid of the tappy. So it's a mixed review. I can't recommend them, but I can't completely dismiss them either. It really would be down to you. I'm going to have a little think about what I'm going to do with them. But thanks for watching the review. I hope it's been of some help, and I will see you next time. Cheers, guys. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, and you'll be up to date with any new stuff that I buy. Bye for now.